All righty. I think I have you all up. Okay, here we are. Today's session. Let me see if I can get the next screen. There we go. Um, are you using LinkedIn to generate business? That's the question on the table today. Remember, if you have some questions or you want to share something, please type it in. We'll also, if you want to raise your hand, we'll see if we can get you in at some time during the session. We like to keep you involved and keep this thing rolling. It's great to have you here with us today. And I heard some really positive stuff about how this 30 minutes is working out on Friday. So we're going to keep it going. As long as there's interest, we're going to keep it going and try to bring you some good stuff. So let's go. I've got a lot of stuff here on LinkedIn today. So let's get moving. First question we have to ask today is LinkedIn working for you? That's the question on the table because I know a lot of people are in LinkedIn. I know a lot of people are connected to a lot of people. You ask most people in business today, hey, are you in LinkedIn? Of course I'm in LinkedIn. But what are you doing with it? Are you harnessing the power of this great tool to do business, or is it just a tool that, like that hammer sitting in your shop? So, how are you using it? Are you using it just as a repository for connections? Which, don't get me wrong, it's still a great way to keep current where people are and those kind of things. Um, But are you getting what you expected? Some people expected, I think, to get into LinkedIn and all of a sudden be able to do everything and anything, and they can't, and it's not working, and they think it's not really that good a tool after all. It is a hugely powerful tool. I have to share that with you. So, what we're going to try to answer today, and just remember, we got 30 minutes. We're going to cover one area. We could probably do a whole day on LinkedIn, and we do some sessions which we'll share with you coming up in the future. So, how can I use LinkedIn better is one of the things we're going to address today. So, let's look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a tool, and I think so many times people forget that LinkedIn's a tool. They think it's some magic thing that's going to make it happen. I like to equate it with three things that we see out there a lot. LinkedIn is nothing more than a hammer. Just like a hammer, if you pick it up and you put that human pressure behind it, it can pound nails. It can do all kinds of stuff. But without that human power behind it, it's just a hammer. A camera can take great pictures, and it can be one of the best cameras in the world. But without somebody operating it, it really doesn't accomplish a whole lot. And a lawnmower is wonderful, but if you're not starting it and you're not driving it or you're not pushing it to cut the lawn, it's really not doing anything else. So LinkedIn cannot generate business for you unless you do something with it. But if you use it, if you take LinkedIn and you start doing stuff, we're going to give you one thing you can do today. If you just start with this, you will find that LinkedIn is so much more than you ever thought possible. And so let's go. The first thing that you have to determine if you're going to use LinkedIn to generate business, the first thing I tell people to look at is what is it that you want from LinkedIn? So I've got a couple examples up here. Some of those you out there who read the article, and if you didn't read it, it is out on the blog. And if you're on the newsletter list, you probably got it. So go back and look at it or look at it on the blog. Either way. Um, a lot of the stuff we covered today is on that article, recent one on the blog. So, what am I looking for? So, the first example I put together here is let's say I'm looking for small business owners. So, what does that really mean? It means I'm looking for people who are owners, people who are maybe titled CEO, maybe titled president. Any of those three titles could work in my network as the people who are business owners. The second thing I'm looking for is I sell to the service industry, and not that I can't sell to other people, Remember how we talked about targets? But I sell to the service industry, so I want service industry. Number three is I'm a B2B guy or gal. So this person happens to be looking for business to business. I have a business and I sell to other business, not the consumer or government market. I'm looking for companies in New Jersey, and I want companies who are connected to someone that I know very well. So that's my criteria. So when I start going through someone's connections, which we're going to show you how to do in a moment, this is what I'm looking for. Are you a small business owner in the service industry who sells to other businesses, and are you located in the state of New Jersey, and of course, how well are you connected to the person that I'm talking to? Now, that's just one example. You might be totally different. So I put up a second one here. Let's say this person happens to be looking for purchasing agents because maybe you sell to large companies and you know you're not going to sell at the CEO level because you have a product that purchasing buys. So you may be looking for purchasing agents in the medical supply business. Let's say you have something that you sell to medical supply companies in the greater Northeast, again, who are connected with someone I know. The thing I want you to understand here is what you're looking for is what you need to define. And in other words, if we go back here, the first example was someone looking for business owners in the service industry, B2B, state of New Jersey. And if they don't match that criteria, then you move to the next person. This person's looking for purchasing agents. If the person that you're looking at is not a purchasing agent, next, please. That's how it works. All right. So now what I want you to do, once you have a criteria, your criteria can be totally different than this. These are two examples. I could put 10 out there. The point I want you to understand is you want to find one person in your network that you're connected with who you know very well, who you know will help you. One person. We're just going to start with one person. Remember, I want to keep this simple, easy. You can take this and you can multiply it, and as we'll go through the math at the end, you'll be amazed at what you can do. So find one person, Joe Smith, Mary Johnson, somebody that you know that you're connected with on LinkedIn who has a network, and that's who you want to start working with. And what I want you to do now is, and yes, I'm not going to tell you any story about whether this isn't tedious. It is a lot of work. And it is one of those things that you could delegate, right? For those who have been on a time management class, you could delegate to someone on your staff because you've defined, let's go back here real quick. You've defined this as a criteria. Now, someone on your staff could go through your LinkedIn connections and find people who match that criteria. Am I right? I think I am. So, look through find the connections that meet your criteria. That's what I want you to do. And every time you find one, I want you to put them on your list. All right, so you got a criteria you're going after. You found one person that you believe will help you in your connections, and now you're going through their connections one at a time and base and matching them against the criteria. You're making a list of them. Now, do you have to go against all of them? No. I want you to find 10, 15, 20 people. And maybe if this person's well connected to you, the right kind of people, you may only go through 100 or 200 of their connections. Make a note as to where you left off and where you want to continue next time. But I want you to find 10 to 15 people that match your criteria that are connected to this person. So let's say you and I are connected and I'm very well connected to you. You'll say to me, Manny, I'm going to go through your connections, and you'll go through my connections and you'll find people that meet your criteria. You'll make a list of them. Now, then I want you to pick up the phone and I want you to call your friend, if it's me or whoever it is, and say, "Hi, Manny. Listen, I just went through your LinkedIn connections and I found about 10 or 15 people, I think closer to 15 people, I'd really like you to connect me with." Now, I know I'm not asking you to connect me with 15 people right now, but what I like to do is I like to sit down and have lunch, breakfast, or sit down or pick a time on the phone. Doesn't have to necessarily be in person, but I like to sit down with you and go through these and see which ones you feel I can connect with and you can help me. And what's somebody going to say? No, I'm not going to do it for you. Of course they're going to do it for you. Because remember the first criteria: look through your connection and find someone who will do this for you. So you already know they will. When you pick up the phone, you're just verifying. And there it is. Can we get together on the phone or in person?